Okay, what does the American dream mean to you?
I think the American dream is all about creating a new life for yourself from the moment of birth, being able to reach a potential that you set for yourself or anything that you really want to accomplish. And I don't think that it's the same for everybody, and I also don't think that it's always a reality that any goal can be accomplished, but I also think that it's important that we're telling children that in America you can accomplish what you want to do. You can reach your goals, you can reach the expectations. A lot of times when I think about the American dream, I think about like stories that my dad's told me about like my, not really ancestors, but like great-grandfather immigrating to America from Ireland. And I hear about how even after his entire life in Ireland and all of his parents before them, he was able to start a new life for himself in America and get a job, work, make sure that he could provide for his family and like create a new life in America. And I think that the American dream is more about just making sure that everybody has the potential to live out a life that they want and also has education, has healthcare, and are able to do whatever they can do. Because any child born has the opportunity to change the world. And I think the American dream is all about making sure that every child has that opportunity.
How has the American dream played a role in your life?
If it has.
If it has, yeah. Or do you have your own dream?
I think that expectations can sort of play a role in a lot of people's lives, and for me, I would like to say I have high expectations of myself, mainly because of what my parents have been able to do for me. And they've created such good opportunities for me. I can go to this school, I always have food and everything, and I think that with all that, an expectation is sort of put that I can do something positive, make a change in the world. And I don't know if necessarily I'll be completely changing the world or anything like that, but I do think that expectations have to be held decently high, where I can do something positive. And in terms of shaping me, I think that really, without the American dream, it's not as if I would be here, because really, coming as a poor immigrant from Ireland to where I am now, where I have this opportunity to go to a school, things like this wouldn't have really happened in many other countries around the world, where you can go from not having much money and only in one or two generations being able to have all these opportunities laid out for a child. So I think that that's really a great thing about the American dream.
Are you proud to be American?
Yeah, I definitely am. And a lot of people find a lot of faults with the American political system and things like that. But that being said, overall, it's not as if I would ever feel shamed to be part of one of the greatest countries in history, if not like ever, because there's so many opportunities being laid out, and while of course there is issues, of course there's racial profiling, things like that, income inequality, but of course at the same time, America is one of the best countries, and I think that there's always room for growth, sure, but it's good that at least America is always growing, and at least their American dream and opportunity is always here.
Would you consider yourself a patriot?
I mean, not necessarily to the same extent, because I can't think of something that I've done that really like embodies the American dream. But that being said, I think that of course I'm in support of America, democracy, things like that. And if that makes you a patriot, then I suppose being in support of America I am. But I don't know if I've done something enough. I've done enough to really consider myself a patriot.
What does the American dream mean to you?
I guess pursuing like what you love and what you've like always what you've always wanted to do, and I guess just like doing what you love and like having the opportunity to do like what you're capable to do.
And how has it played a role in your life?
I guess like for me, I set like a lot of goals for myself, and I guess like me seeing other people with their American dreams kind of like inspires me to like do what I love, and that like I'm capable to like I have the opportunity to do it.
And what does it mean to you to be American?
I feel like very like fortunate to have like all these like opportunities, and like I guess this being American has like shaped me in a lot of ways, because like it's kind of like personal, but like I was like born like out of the States, and I guess like me having an opportunity, because of like my family and friends, I guess, just like helped shape where I am today.
Who do you consider American?
I guess like U.S. citizens. I mean, I guess not. You can still identify as American, even I guess if you're not a citizen. But yeah.
Are you proud to be American?
Yes.
How come?
Because it allows me to have like many opportunities, and I'm just like grateful for everything like I've done.
How has the American dream played a role in your life?
Well, actually, when me and my family moved from South Africa to America, that's like why my family moved there, so like we could have the American dream, like better schools, better opportunities, so like me and my brother could grow up in the States. How old were you when you moved? I was 6. Okay. Are you a dual citizen? Yeah. Would you say that you're proud to be American? Yeah, I'd say that.
Would you consider yourself a patriot?
No. Okay.
So, what does the American dream mean to you?
Well, for me, I guess it means like, well, since America is like a free country and everything, like I love personally like living in the U.S. because being like free to me, like it means a lot, like because I know that there are some people in like different countries that don't get to experience things that we do. So.
And how's the American dream played a role in your life?
Well, I guess obviously since I go to Milton, I'm very like privileged, and since like I said before, since America is a free country, like I've got to experience a lot of really great things. Like my family and I, like it's been my life obviously has been since I've been at Milton since I was little, like since in kindergarten. It's been great because I've got to experience like so many great things, and like I've had so many great opportunities.
What does it mean to be American?
I think it means that, well, I think it means a lot of different things. One, it means you have lots of opportunities, like you can have an amazing life, like everyone here at Milton, I guess. You can, I don't know, this is a hard question.
Yeah, take your time. I'll like edit out any
Okay.
pauses.
Well, Americans have so many rights, so I don't know, that's a hard question, it really is. I don't know, it's like such a broad topic.
Okay, we can move on. Who do you consider to be American?
To be American? Really anyone that's a citizen here. Like, if you have a citizenship here, I believe that you're considered American, yeah.
Are you proud to be American?
Yes, I am.
How come?
Well, America's such a great country, and like I'm just so proud to say that like I live in America and I'm American. I'm a citizen here.
Would you consider yourself a patriot?
Yes.
What is something you do to be patriotic?
Well, we always celebrate the 4th of July, like as a family, which is always really fun. Yeah.
Okay, so what does the American dream mean to you?
American dream kind of means like being free, getting to be who you want to be, and strive to be your best.
Who do you consider American?
I consider American anyone like who's in America, obviously, but anyone who works hard and tries to be their best person.
Has the American dream affected your life in any way? Do you have an American dream?
Not really, but I can definitely I definitely think I will have one when I'm a bit older and like kind of like thinking about my life in a whole spectrum instead of just like school.
Who do you consider American?
Everyone, I think, can be American and can be the best.
Who do you think should decide who gets to be American?
Yourself.
Who do you define as like American? Like, what is your definition of American?
I don't think there's a specific person or anything I see as American, but I see it almost as like the figure of like Uncle Sam, not as we see him in like political humor and stuff like that, like that idea of someone going for the American dream, striving for greater, and then like fighting for freedom and all that. I think that's sort of the ultimate American figure.
Okay, what does the American dream mean to you?
I guess to me, it means having the liberty to pursue whatever avenue in life you want. So not sort of having your status determined at birth, but depending on how hard you work. Not that that's actually necessarily actually what happens at the moment, but I think that's the American dream to me. And also having the liberty to do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't harm anyone else.
Has the American dream affected your life at all?
I mean, I think because I've been born to affluent parents, I think that's not necessarily like the message that the American dream would provide, because obviously I go to Milton Academy, and so like what that would reinforce is because my parents, are affluent, then that sets me up for an easier time, to achieve that same path in life. But at the same time, I also think that by living in America, I've had lots of like freedom, which many places around the world don't have, because of class or just because of being an American, received from the American dream that I might not receive in lots of other countries.
Who do you consider American?
I consider American, so for starters, any citizen, but beyond that, I think there are plenty of people who might not, who might be immigrants, but who have lived here for a while. I think anyone who cares about, has some sort of common cause with this country, so anyone who cares about the future of this country, whether or not they actually are legally a citizen, even if you're an illegal immigrant, I think you could still be an American as long as, you care for this country and are willing to work for it.
Who do you think should decide who should be American?
I think legally, I think that's obviously up to, that's up to the government, Congress, et cetera, but actually, morally, because I think those aren't necessarily the same thing. Obviously, I don't think at the moment, all legal Americans are actually Americans, and vice versa. I think the person who determines whether or not you're an American is you. I think based on whether or not you think you have some sort of goal in common with this country, whether you think you have something at stake, you would put your life at stake for this country.
Are you proud to be American?
I am, I would say, but I would also say that's a conflicted choice. I think that's also, I say that while acknowledging that in the past and currently, lots of atrocities have been committed, genocide of Native Americans, lots of foreign intervention that didn't need to happen, all this sort of stuff, slavery, and still today, police brutality, so many things, right? So obviously this country has issues, but I think the reason I'm proud to be American is because I think there is a huge segment of the population who wants to solve those problems, and that's what makes me proud to be American.